Mario Party The Top 100 is one of the more unusual entries in the Mario Party series. It's often dismissed or outright loathed by longtime fans, and yet, I actually enjoy it. But that's a conversation for another time. A little while ago, fellow Mario Party enthusiast Zoomzyke made a great video about how the GameCube-era Mario Parties categorized their minigames. I highly recommend checking it out, because it got me thinking about the Top 100 and how it handles minigame organization, specifically in the Minigame Match mode. You see, that mode splits minigames into various themed packs. But as I dug into it, I found something a bit stranger than just mismatched labels. I found the forbidden minigames. But before we dive into those, we should talk about why the Minigame Pack system exists in the first place. Of the 100 minigames in the collection, 87 are playable in Minigame Match. It's a simplified board-based mode that allows you to play through the minigames with friends or CPUs in a more Mario Party-esque context. I personally believe that this pack system was designed with download play in mind. By limiting the pool of minigames to 20 or so, the game could keep shared data small and reduce what needed to be sent between the systems. The previous Mario Party title on the 3DS, Star Rush, got around this by offering a free companion app on the eShop, Mario Party Star Rush Party Guest. But for the Top 100, it seems NDCube went with a different workaround, hiding the limitations behind themed minigame packs. So let's talk about the minigame packs themselves. As I mentioned earlier, 87 of the 100 minigames are playable in Minigame Match. The 13 that aren't included are all dual or special minigames. Why are they excluded? Well, dual minigames are one-on-one, so they don't work well in a mode designed for 4 players. Even though duels do appear in the Top 100 and even do appear in the Minigame Match mode, it wouldn't make sense for someone to select a dual minigame for their 5 minigame lineup, since they can only trigger under very specific conditions. As for the special minigames, those are often longer and more elaborate, stretching the definition of a minigame altogether, unless you count a 3-minute hockey match mini, so honestly, it makes sense that they were left out of this mode. There are 19 default minigame packs, plus 3 customizable favorites packs where you can handpick your favorites, and a random pack, which pulls 5 minigames at random from the pool. All of the other default packs are curated by developers. Now let's do some quick math. Each pack contains 5 minigames, and with 19 default packs, that's 95 slots to fill. So in theory, if the 87 available minigames were evenly distributed, only 8 of them would show up more than once. But these are the same developers who thought, let's just include 3 minigames from Mario Party 8 in this collection of 100 minigames. So maybe assuming an even distribution was a bad idea. You can view the entire pool of 87 minigames when creating a favorites pack. The game even allows you to sort them by title, genre, or battle type, which is super handy. So I listed all the minigames out, marked which packs they appeared in, and that's when I noticed something strange. There were minigames that didn't show up in any of the default packs. Not a single one. I call them the forbidden. These minigames aren't broken. They aren't hidden behind unlocks. They're just left out. If you stick to the default packs, you'll never see them in a normal game of Minigame Match. You have to manually include them using a favorites pack, or hope a random pack decides to pick them for you. So who are these forgotten few? Let's take a look at them, shall we? Here's how this is gonna go. I'll list each of the Forbidden 12, give a quick description of what they are and how they play, and then later, we'll dive into where I think they should have been placed among the default packs. There's a pretty wide selection, since many of these games are featured in 2 packs, and some minigames are absolute gluttons, since they show up in 3 different packs. Meanwhile, these 12 didn't even get 1. That's just inexcusable. First off, we have Facelift from Mario Party 1. Use the stylus to try and match your face to the example given. I feel like they should have used the Mario Party 2 version, but we already have 13 minigames from Mario Party 2, so Next is Bounce and Trounce from Mario Party 3. You bounce on a ball to get higher, so you can slam down on your opponents from above and knock them off. I love the dynamic it offers, where getting height is valuable, but gaining height is skill-based and risky. Another one for Mario Party 3, we got Storm Chasers. I'll be honest, it's kinda basic, just running around to water your plant under a fleeing rain cloud trying to avoid the Monty moles. I feel like some player interaction would add to this minigame a lot. Imagine the chaos when you punch 3 people at once because they're crowding around the cloud. Yet another from Mario Party 3, Ice Rink Risk. You have to avoid the spiny shells while slipping around on ice. It's fun to jump over the shells. Here's a fun fact, Mario Party 3 was shafted in the minigame pack selection. This collection has 12 minigames from Mario Party 3, and 4 of them didn't get used in the default packs. And here's the 4th one, Title Toss. It's a 1 vs 3 game where the one player tries to create the biggest wave to knock the other 3 off. I have heard this one's a bit hard on the one player, but I think it's pretty fun. Goal! With 7 O's is from Mario Party 4. It's another 1 vs 3 game where the 3 try to score 10 goals in 30 seconds, with the 1 defending the goal. The goalie can jump, and quickly, so honestly I like goofing around, jumping around like a frog between the kicks. The only game from Mario Party 5 that got left out, Nightlight Fright. It's a game of chicken with a chain chomp in a dark alley. You have to flash the chain chomp when he gets as close to you as possible. The randomness can definitely mess with you because the chain chomp takes different approaches when cornering you. Dizzy Rotisserie is a Bowser minigame from Mario Party 6. Your controls get messed up and you have to escape the room as quickly as you can. I believe the context changed from Mario Party 6, but now it's just a different take on Dizzy dancing. My favorite non-skill based game is from Mario Party 6, Crate and Peril. It's under the action genre in this game, and it's a 1 vs 3. The one player moves the box around with the gyro, while the 3 avoid the spiny shell. You may say it's just a fancy ice rink risk, but no. You can't jump in this one. Next up, Monty's Revenge from Mario Party 7. You gotta stick your head out of the gopher hole for the most amount of time while Monty moles try and bop you. The concept is so good and creative, flipping the whack-a-mole concept on its head. Literally! We're almost there. We got Track and Yield from Mario Party 7. You run on a conveyor belt jumping over hurdles and zappy hurdles, making sure not to fall into the abyss. I don't really have anything more to say about this one, it's pretty straightforward. Second to last, we got Magma Mayhem from Mario Party 9. You punch and kick your opponents off this tilting platform. This is a travesty. This is like the only game in this collection where you get to fight each other with basically no other gimmick. I love Fisticuffs from Mario Party Island Tour, and they practically removed it. This is terrible. And lastly, another from Mario Party 9, Tackle Takedown. It's another 1 vs 3 where the one player has to get a touchdown while the others try and take them down by tackling them. Has Mario ever played football? No, not that one, the other one. Anyway, that's all of the Forbidden. Once again, that's Facelift, Bounce and Trounce, Storm Chasers, Ice Rink Risk, Title Toss, Goal, Nightlight Fright, Dizzy Rotisserie, Crate and Peril, Monty's Revenge, Track and Yield, Magma Mayhem, and Tackle Takedown. Now that we've met the Forbidden, it's time to give them a home. Explaining my method out loud is a bit messy, but I'll try to do my best. I opened up an Excel sheet and listed every minigame that appears more than once, along with the packs they show up in. Turns out there are 18 minigames that show up in multiple default packs. 3 of them appear 3 times. Anyway, I added the Forbidden to the sheet and started shifting things around, replacing the games, and seeing where each orphan game could reasonably fit. This isn't scientific, but it worked. Let's start with the easy fixes. First, Ice Rink Risk clearly belongs in Frosty Pack, so I swapped out Speed Hockey to make room. Next, Goal is a soccer minigame. It's a sport, so into the sports pack it goes, replacing Triple Jump. And then there's Nightlight Fright, which is all about reaction time. That makes it a perfect fit for the Reflex pack, which I kicked Shy Guy Says to make the switch. Now we're getting into the trickier stuff, the more subjective decisions. First up, Honeycomb Havoc appears in 3 different packs. That's a bit excessive. I couldn't move it out of the Chowdown or Brainy pack since it fit there pretty well, so I removed it from the Woodland pack and gave that slot to Monty's Revenge instead. Next, Snowball Summit shows up in both the Frosty pack and the Action pack. Since Frosty pack is a natural fit, I left it in there and gave Bounce and Trounce the spot in the Action pack. As for Track and Yield, it felt right in the Sports pack. Originally I thought about putting Tackle Takedown there, but in the end I gave both Tackle Takedown and Magma Mayhem to the Wii and Wii U pack. I just couldn't bring myself to remove longer heads and Don't Look from their categories. Process of Elimination did a lot of the heavy lifting. We only got 5 minigames left. 2 of them are 1 vs 3 games, but we've only got 1 available slot in the 1 vs 3 pack, which comes from removing Blame It on the Crane. I gave that precious spot to Title Toss. With that out of the way, the rest were easy wins. Dizzy Rotisserie and Crate and Peril were both from Mario Party 6, a GameCube entry, so they slid neatly into the GameCube pack. I took out Balloon Bursters and Coney Island. And finally, the N64 pack. I swapped out Shy Guy Says and Mecha Marathon, and in their place, Facelift and Storm Chasers. And just like that, we did it. I feel a bit happier, honestly. Was this a necessary project? Absolutely not. But there's something satisfying about finding something interesting and talking about it. Taking something a little chaotic and making it your own. Some of the minigames got left out of the party, but now, thanks to a spreadsheet and some stubborn repack shuffling, we have made things a little bit complete in a game packed with fun. I guess the real question is, what is the best minigame pack in the top 100? Well, I've got it right here, the Golden Pack. Let's see what's in it. You've got to be kidding me.